first and foremost, let's talk to the guy, the college guy, Mr. Pittsburgh Steelers himself. Talk to me because I'm looking. I had to double check and to see 30-6. Is that correct? The Texans?
Yeah.
Ooh. Talk to me about that, man.
All right, so I have a list on my bedpost over here. On my list of 5 reasons we lost today's game. And I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up, and then I have my hot take of the day. So at number 5, at my lowest level of blame, we have the pass rushing duo of TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Where are y'all at? The Houston Texans offensive line had 4 starters missing. You couldn't register 1 sack the whole game. Your brother's there getting inducted into the Ring of Honor, and you sat there and you celebrated it by taking a gosh darn goose egg on the field. You didn't do anything. You pressured him a few times. You never got a sack. You couldn't get around that offensive line. Their left tackle, it was his first time ever starting at a tackle position, and you couldn't get around him. How does this happen? How? You're the only reason we have won any game so far. And the fact that this game you shut down and we got blown out, there's a reason. All right, coming in at number 4, we have, even though he left like 3/4 of the way, Kenny Pickett. It's not it, man. I'm sorry. You can't – look, I get that you're not in a good offensive scheme, but you don't look good either. You can't make good throws. You can't make good decisions. You throw the ball and it looks wobbly. You can't find an open receiver. There's no way to go about it. And at this point, I think it's time for the Steelers to, if they move on, hopefully, from their offensive coordinator, and you still can't get it together, it's time for the Steelers to move on and find another option. I was on the Kenny Pickett hype train, and it's fallen so far off the rails, and I can no longer see it anymore. At my 3rd position, I have Mike Tomlin. Mike.
Guess what
right.
day it is.
But, like, your decisions are very bad. You never want to go for it on 4th down. And then when you do decide to go for it on 4th down, it is the worst time to go for it. We wanted you to go for it on 4th down when it was 4th and 4 in the red zone, and we were down 16-3. You didn't. You kicked a field goal. Fine. Whatever. The next drive, we drive to about the 35. It is 4th down and 1. Kick the field goal, make it a 1-possession game. It would be 16-9. It would be a 1-possession game. And then you decide to go for it. That's when you decide to go for it. Not when we're in the red zone, but when we're almost backed up to our own 40, you decide to go for it. They call some sort of weird play because it's Matthew Canada, and Kenny Pickett gets what looks to be a season-ending injury on that dumb decision. You should have just kicked the field goal and made it a 1-possession game. It was the 3rd quarter. We would have been fine. But no. All right, coming in at number 2, we have George Pickens. Dude, where are you? You're never open. You can't find a way to get open. You had an easy 1st down on a long thing. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, look, you can take this route and you can run through the seam and you get the 1st down, but you hesitated, and then in the 3rd quarter, you catch a football and then you drop it, and then you try to fight a cornerback for some reason and almost get ejected. Like, stop, man. You're our best wide receiver, and we aren't getting you the football, but it doesn't mean you can act out. All right, and then number 1, we all know who it is. Matt Canada. Why are you here? Why are you still here? Why are you here? Why? You needed to be fired from the Pittsburgh Steelers and then rehired in college, fired from college, rehired in a high school, fired there, sent to Pop Warner, fired from there, sent to Madden, and then banned from that game. That is how banned from the sport of football you should be. This is an offensive coordinator that couldn't muster a top 15 offensive anything in college, and we bring him to the NFL. He doesn't have any coaching experience higher than offensive coordinator except at Maryland, where he was the head coach for a year, and he was only head coach there because the other coach got fired because one of his players literally died on the practice field. Why is this man our offensive coordinator? He couldn't call in college. He couldn't call in high school. He was a bad quarterbacks coach. Ben Roethlisberger did not like him when he was the quarterbacks coach, and you decide to hire him as the offensive coordinator, and 3 years in, we can see exactly why he has never coached outside of college.
Woo! Woosah.
All right.
Take a breath.
I now have one more thing, and it's going to be my hottest take ever, and any Steelers fans out there are going to get very mad at me. It's time for the Steelers to seriously consider moving on from Mike Tomlin as the head coach. He's too set in his ways with his Omar Khan wanted Matt Canada gone in the offseason, and the only reason he's still around is because Mike Tomlin has stood up to him. We have regressed the past 3 years with Mike Tomlin. I know everybody's going to go, but he's never had a losing season. We've barely not had losing season. We keep going 9-7-1 and 9-8. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. We can't keep doing this anymore. We cannot compete with the other quarterbacks and the other offenses in the AFC if we have a defensive-minded head coach. It might be time to move on from Mike Tomlin because we cannot win with him. He keeps regressing. He keeps people around for no reason. He doesn't make any good calls. When he decides to be gutsy, he does stupid things. He never wins any challenges. He's just not a very good head coach. And when you think about it, the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2017. The only Super Bowl he's won was on a roster built by Cower. We can't do anything with this guy. And it might be time to move to a more offensive-minded head coach.
Wow. Woo!
This is what happens when you lose to the Texans. It breaks you.
There's a lot of smoke in this room right now. Oh, my goodness gracious. I think maybe this is the worst time, or maybe it's the best time to ask you, didn't you meet Matt Canada?
So, yeah, we saw Matt Canada. He was coming up. We were in the upper decks up at Heinz Field, and we saw him walk into the press box. I don't know why he's still there. I don't know why he's still there. Why is he here? Why are you here? Please go away.
Arrested. Wow.
If it was up to us, you would have been like kicked down the river to Philadelphia to go, I don't know, call plays there. I don't care. Oh, right. Speaking of Philly, I wanted them to draft Jalen Hurts. Dylan knew I wanted them to draft Jalen Hurts. And who do we draft? Chase Claypool instead of Jalen Hurts. We could have had Jalen Hurts.
The Steelers are really bad at drafting offensive skill position, is what I realized.
Except for wideouts. Apparently, we're just a wideout factory.
You got Najee Harris the first round, averages 3 yards a carry for a first rounder. Kenny Pickett, Farmouth's not bad. Offensive line hasn't been good for years, ever since they lost the entire offensive line they've had since 2008. So
apparently we're only good at drafting wide receivers.
So, all right. At the end of the day, you're still 2-2. All right. Even if Pickett is out, your defense is still one of the top tier defenses when they play. When they play up to it. They single-handedly won the game against the Browns. I mean, with T.J. Watt doing what he did and all that stuff. So you're not tanking yet, right? I mean, I know Pickett is out, but you still have a force.
Caleb Williams
seem to be right. I mean, so there is reason to tank, but at the same time, man, I mean, are you giving up on this year, man?
I think this year is still salvageable if the front office makes 2 decisions. Number 1, fire Matt Canada. For the love of all that is holy, fire that man. Mike Tomlin in his press conference today said that he was done. The changes were definitely coming. Those changes better dang well be Matt Canada being given the slip of paper that says you're no longer a Pittsburgh Steelers anything. Go away. Don't come back. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Secondly, play our rookie talent. It took injuries to get Darnell Washington and Broderick Jones into the game today, and they looked amazing. Darnell Washington had some good catches. Broderick Jones did pretty well on pass protection. On the defensive side, Joey Porter Jr. has been locked down every time we've put him in. And you still play Levi Wallace, who is the Eli Apple of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I dare say he is worse than Artie Burns in the secondary. And you do not put Joey Porter Jr. in. The only rookie who has played consistency is Benton on the defensive line and Herbig on the outside. Herbig has had a hard time, but Benton has looked really good stepping up in the place of where Cam Hayward used to be. So play our rookie talent. We had a pretty good draft this year. Play the rookies. Thank you.
Wow. I'm gonna give you a minute to cool down